Welcome to Primetime, bitches. This is your host, Frank the Vamp, and we are continuing to rank from worst to best all the Nighmare on Elm Street films. Now, the next film, number 8, is better than the remake, of course, the very crappy remake. But then again, it's not saying much, right? In fact, I'm gonna need a drink for this one. Don't worry, guys. It's water. Sort of. Yeah, we're going to talk about Freddy's Dead, the final Nightmare. And this is a weird movie in a sense that there's some actual good ideas put into this. But it doesn't save two huge problems. Problem number one, the plot holes that are as big as moon craters. The fact that the continuity of the series is kind of ruined in many places in a story that doesn't make much sense sometimes, maybe most of the time. And then we get to me, which is the biggest problem, that Freddy Krueger has gone Flanderized. You know Ned Flanders, that guy from The Simpsons, that's supposed to be, a nice, a good Christian guy that goes to church on Sundays right in the beginning, but then just kept writing him into this same, a very easy stereotype until he became a religious nutjob. And because it was easier to write him that way. Maybe he started as an even keel and then he just went haywire. The same thing happened to Freddy. Freddy is now pretty much a cartoon of his former self. He is, how can I say, his badness, his evilness, everything that made him such a badass, it's completely gone. He's just a cartoon. He's Wile E. Coyote. In fact, we'll get there, but there's one of the death that is just like freaking watching the Roadrunner. Spoilers. But, man, need another drink. This is just not good. But, well, let's go in and talk about Freddy's Dead, the final Nightmare. So, this film is full of good intentions. They tried. You can see they tried. I think there were I read that there was a couple of scripts that were supposed to be added. In fact, one was supposed to be written by Peter Jackson. I can neither confirm nor deny this, but it never saw the light of day. It never got made, and there were different ideas that were going to be done to end the series, right, with a bang, and none of the good ideas were taken. We start by talking about the fact that the story, like I said, just so many plot holes. It starts very interesting. We meet this character, John Doe, that doesn't know why he's connected to Freddy. And the opening sequence with, us knowing that nearly every teenager has been killed in Springwood, Ohio, Freddy's hometown. And, it's... in 10 years from now, we're looking in the near future, and during that something happens, something that you will never guess, that yes, you pretty much will guess happen, during that time. But John Doe goes into an adventure to try to find out why he can't remember anything, and and what's going on with the story. Why is his connection? And we meet with some important characters that supposed to tell us, and what happened, and we which I like. I was into it. I remember watching this in the theaters, and it's just something that was, it really attracted me. The first Nightmare, when he's in the airplane, and all of a sudden, he it's really terrifying, the fact that something goes wrong in the plane, and then he gets, he gets ejected out of the plane, and then he's fall near to his death when he finds out that he's in another dream, and then the floating house, very creepy elements. And then the problem that's prominent throughout this film starts. We see Freddy dressed as the Wicked Witch of the West, flying a broom like a witch. And yes, this is gonna continue. Freddy will even become a video game player and character. One of the one of the kills is in a video game. The only redeeming value of that is that you're playing with power, with a power glove. Crap! If you're from those times like me, you will remember the pun, it made me smile until I remember what a crappy NES accessory that was, that never worked. Yeah, that's just one of the severe problems of the film. It's just that, coming back to that, I always, you guys remember, well, you guys always know, and you guys seen my series on Child's Play, and you guys see how we have Chucky, that Chucky was really horrifying at first, and then he had this dark humor, right? And he started using it, and they started using it more and more until finally it got turned into, the movie was just a comedy. It was a dark comedy. It wasn't really horror anymore, and some people really hated that. And I think that the same thing was happening to Freddy. Freddy was just, he was just handing out one-liners. Most of them completely missed now, though. The timing is bad. Oh man, when Jodo falls from the sky and he pulls. By the way, this turns out to be my favorite kill, though, when he pulls the bed of nails. Yeah. Although the guy with a Q-tip in the ear is kind of a tie. But that's not how he dies. He dies with the fingernails to the chalkboard, because he's deaf. And I don't know, man. A lot of stuff just fell flat. It's just hard to get through this movie. By the way, Tom Arnold, Roseanne Barr, yes, remember them? When they used to be a power couple. Yes, they're in it. They're a thing. Alice Cooper, remember him? Yeah, he's there. Does it matter? Not really. Does it make any sense? Nope. It's, like I said, the story just makes no sense. Many of we've been looking 1 through 5. A lot of the elements that are there, they're completely ignored on 6, and they just didn't know how to end it and connected it right, so they just didn't care and just ended it pretty much. The way that Freddy goes, it's kind of lame. I like the montage at the end, and I like I said, they were trying. I mean, they did make the last 10 minutes or so of the film in 3D. If you get the new Blu-ray, you should be able to see that and get your 3D glasses, which is kind of like, okay, it wasn't done that much at that time, I guess, so that made it a thing. I remember doing that at the movie theaters, and that was lame. I remember by then being pissed because by then I was already mad. It's not Freddy Krueger. Robert Englund, he tried, man. He tried. He gave it everything he had. But such a right, I mean, the script, everything was just so bad that it was just trying, man, and couldn't save a turkey. With all the flaws of all the other movies, I remember being especially disappointed because I thought that this was the way I was going to remember Freddy. Of course, Freddy came back in a different way, and then in an awesome way. We both know how, right? Right? In New Nightmare, and then in Jason versus Freddy. Freddy versus Jason. And we that would not, I'm so glad, because otherwise this would have been, the way that I remember the franchise to end. Because like I said, it's kind of hard to think about the remake as it's the end, right? They're making a new movie. Hopefully this will be better, but yeah. Cheers to many more good Nightmare on Elm Street movies, because Freddy Is Dead, the final Nightmare, it was kind of a nightmare. See you next issue. Take care. Cheers.